Okay, this was a game I played blitz just now. It's a Caro Kann. So I'll show you. Opening is e4, c6, which is the key move of the Caro Kann. Preparing d5. Standard here is d4, d5. And then white has a couple of options here. In this situation, when I'm playing as white, I tend to play the advanced variation, which is e5 here, and then black responds with bishop f5, and this is actually what happened in the game. E5, bishop f5, and another option, we can go back real quick, is to capture. This is the exchange variation, and there's a lot of options for white at this point. When I'm playing white against the Caro Kann, right now I'm playing c4, which is an idea I got from Josh Waitzkin. Usually black takes here, and bishop takes, and I've got a nice little lead in development. My opponent will usually play e6 here to offset this bishop, and I just develop normally knight c3 or knight f3, whatever. It's a fun game for white. But most players at my level don't play this game. I'm rated about 1400 normally. This is a blitz match. So let's get back to the regular game. e5, bishop f5, which activates the bishop and prepares me to play e6. I want to get it outside of that pawn chain before I close it up here, or else it'll just look awkward and be in the way back here. We're going to have a closed pawn position for at least for a while, and having a bishop blocking in back here will be bad for you. You'll notice when I'm playing the King's Indian defense against d4, I do the same thing. I get my bishop out, so I have this move available. But especially in the Caro Kann, you want to get your bishop to f5 quickly to put pressure on the c2 square, which isn't terribly important yet unless he moves his queen. But make sure to get bishop f5 out so that you can move this pawn. My opponent plays knight f3, and here I play a little unorthodox. I move the same piece twice. I play bishop g4. This isn't a bad move at all. To be honest, in closed positions, knights are just better, and I prefer to trade off his knight here, bring his queen out a little early, and then I can start closing up and developing behind my barriers here and start pushing on the queen side. So he plays h3, which is what I hope he'd played. He weakens his king side a little bit, and I'm going to take anyways, whether he plays h3 or not. For example, if he had just developed normally, say bishop d3 or something like that, I'm going to go ahead and take here, and this is just the way I like to play. But h3 in particular is good because it weakens his king side, and I'm going to take anyways. So queen takes is the best option. Taking with the pawn just ruins your king side, and I play e6 here, closing up. So I've been in this position probably dozens of times. I very much enjoy playing here. My opponent plays bishop to d3 as I expected, and I go ahead and push with c5. And this is my key move here usually. If my opponent doesn't take, then black gains the initiative. Best for white is to take here. I play knight to d7, and then he's got to play bishop f4. And there's a lot of attacks. I can play queen a5 here at this point. There's different things. He'll block with his knight to continue developing, and I'll take this pawn back finally. This position is relatively even. I like to attack on the queen side in the Caro Kann, and also if I'm playing a King's Indian against d4. So all of my games, whether my opponent plays e4 or d4 as white, I play into variations that attack on the queen side. And my Caro Kann style and my King's Indian style are similar, except for on the king side. Obviously, the knight can't be on f6 where I want it, and I don't fianchetto or anything. But my style of play, at least on the queen side, is very similar. So that's one variation. We'll go backwards. And but he chose to just defend with c3, which is what I see very often, and what I hope to see, because this gives black a lot of very active chances. One thought is just to play knight to c6 here, just developing and waiting. I don't like this one as much because I like to force things as black in the Caro Kann. A lot of e4 players aren't used to the Caro Kann. They're used to players playing e4, e5, especially at my level, under 1500 or so. E4, e5, or e4, c5 is what they're used to. And so most people prepare an e4, e5 line, and they prepare a knight line, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, things like that. And they'll prepare a line against the Sicilian with the knights, usually on c3 and d4. So I go ahead and take, just to continue to put pressure on my opponent, and he takes back. And then I have a couple of options for white. Queen to b6 is a very good one. Black is clearly better here. I've got a lot of pressure. He can't develop his bishop here because I can just take the pawn and then the rook. So he's kind of tied down over here. His best is knight c3, which is good, and then I can go ahead and just play queen d4, winning this pawn. So this line is very good for black. I chose not to play it, and to be honest, I'll probably pick it up next time just to see how I like playing with that style. I went ahead and just developed knight to c6, and this game is good for black. I have pressure on his d4 point. My queen is now going to come to queen b6 and put additional pressure. He's going to have a very hard time defending it. Bishop e3 defends the pawn, and now I play queen b6. And now he's going to have a real hard time keeping a defense on this pawn. He goes to play. He plays knight c3, which is a blunder. It hangs the pawn on b2, and what he should have played in this place instead was knight to d2. Now you'll notice here, if I take here, rook b1, queen takes a2, rook takes b7. Now he's in my side, I'm in his side, and we're both going to have a lot of attacking options. You notice more of his pieces are developed than mine, and my queen's out here by herself. I don't like this position. I think it's good for white. So I'm glad that he did not play knight to d2. Instead, he played knight to c3. And now this hangs queen b2, and now his knight's also hanging, and his rook is hanging. So he plays the only move that saves both pieces, is rook to c1. I was hoping that he would try to castle to save his rook, and I could take the knight. You can imagine here if he just castles, which is his next best bet if he doesn't play rook to c1, then the knight just hangs for free. And now you notice the bishop is hanging. So he has to play rook after d1 to protect that bishop. And at this point I have a lot of options. I'm up a piece and a pawn now. Material is very good for me, and I'll win this game easily. But he saw it. After queen takes b2, he played rook to c1. I pushed, I attacked, I played bishop b4, which is a great move. It pins his knight here. His knight's being attacked twice and defended once. And his only option is bishop to d2. If he plays anything else, he tries to break the pin with the castle. Again, I just take the knight. Now I'm planning on taking the knight no matter what his response is here. He plays bishop to d2. So I take, rook takes bishop. And here I have a couple of options. One option is to play queen takes a2. To be honest, I was nervous about leaving my queen out here, and I started wondering if he could get some coordination here, and I wasn't careful, I'd have trouble getting my queen back out through this way and down the diagonal and things. I didn't want to run into any trouble with my queen. I thought I'd play it safe, and what I chose was also very good. I played knight takes d4. So knight takes d4. And now my opponent, he doesn't have any good moves really. He plays queen to e3, which isn't great. I can just come back to knight to c6, which I do. And my opponent at this point castles. Now at this point he made another mistake when he castled, and I didn't catch it in the game, and now I wish I had. I could have played d4. I noticed this when I was analyzing the game later. I could have played d4 here, which forks his queen and his rook. His queen obviously is more important and needs to move. He would play probably queen to g5 here, attacking the pawn and also the rook. I'll take the rook. And you'll notice now that queen g7 is a big mistake. As here I'm queening. I'll take the rook. I castle queenside to protect myself here, and there's not a whole lot left he can do to defend against me queening a pawn here. Queen takes h7 is probably best. I'll play queen takes e5. I'm looking very, very good. This bishop is not looking very happy defending this square here. He needs to move bishop t2 to keep me from queening, and I just keep attacking. Knight d4. He's got to play bishop d1. I can push. This is great. This is a good line for me.